We've known for a while that Suicide Squad was an absolute and utter flop from Warner Bros. I mean, basically just based on the player count, even today, it's in the triple digits, which is just horrendous for a live service game. And it just goes to show that these companies are so focused on making these live services that it's not even that the live service itself is bad. Like in the right circumstances, I think it's good. I mean, look at Fortnite. I mean, they look at the amount of money they make on that game, and that's just simply because it's a good game. I mean, granted, it's a lot. It blows my mind that people will spend that much money on cosmetics, but that's another point. None of it adds anything like game breaking, if you will, to the game. It's just so people can look cool, I guess. So, I mean, I used to be in that park, but thankfully I've gotten out of it. But anyway, yeah. So people have known for a while that a lot of these newer live service games, Skull and Bones, Suicide Squad, have just been complete disasters. But I think just based on this article is when we're actually getting some actually quantifiable numbers, if you will, on just how much money these games lost. And this is like Hollywood and Amazon proportions of just money deletion, just throwing a bunch of money into a fire because it's not coming back. And it just really just reinforces the whole idea that these companies are not focusing on making a good game. They're just solely focusing on making something that's live service. And it's like the game comes after. And it's like, maybe if you focused on making a game that was actually enjoyable and then implemented live service after that, maybe you would make more money. I mean, go figure, you try and make something that's actually valuable to people first and then try and make value for yourself after that. I mean, look at Fortnite. We're going to keep talking about Fortnite because it's just a perfect example. I mean, they just wanted to try out the battle royale in their system. I mean, I was one of the few people who bought Fortnite when it was just Save the World, okay? I was one of the few PvEers in that game. And then they released battle royale. Just I don't even know if they had skins really. I mean, they maybe had like a couple skins, but it was just like a bare bones thing. They're just trying it out and it absolutely exploded. I mean, that's literally how you do it. They made the game and then they implemented more and more live service after that. Like, why not? Ah, man, it just they try to make it like so much more difficult than it needs to be. It just blows my mind that these companies, you would think they would get the picture, but they just don't. I mean, clearly, I mean, there ain't no way they're just trying to lose this much money just because they think it's fun. And this is an article by PC Gamer. It says, oof, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, lost Warner Bros. $200 million, which is $25 million more than the original 2016 movie cost to make. That is $200 million. How? You look at the game and I question, where did all that money go? I mean, you gotta factor in like half of the cost of these games goes into marketing. Well, at least you think it goes into marketing. But it's like, what in the world are they spending all this money on? And the game just was not even remotely good. I mean, it also, the problem with Suicide Squad is that it just had no clear direction. I mean, it had these unique characters, but they didn't look all that great. And the gameplay was almost the same for all of them. Like, all of them were shooting guns and stuff. It's like Captain Boomerang had his boomerang, but it wasn't like his main weapon. He still used guns. I don't know. It was just all very... It just was not cohesive at all. I mean, it was just not enjoyable to play. I mean, yeah, it was... It wasn't even that long of a game either, and it was supposed to be live service. All of it just seemed like it was just thrown together last minute, which just kind of reinforces, like, where do they spend all this money on? That you losing $200 million. Like, how was that possible? At that point, just go to a casino. I mean, oh my gosh. It says repeated zigzags left developers, among other things, confused as to why Captain Boomerang, known for fighting with his namesake weapon, would suddenly pivot to gunplay. Yeah, that was... I mean, I had read this before, and that kind of got me thinking about it as well. It's like, what? And then you got a shark that's supposed to be, like, superhuman, and he's using guns as well. And it's like, well, wouldn't he just be, I don't know, maybe punching? I don't know. You would think it would be a little more involved with all of it. it just, I've heard like maybe two people that say it was a good game, and that's because they were like 15. So I don't know. I mean, let's be real here. It obviously wasn't good because ain't nobody playing the game. It's the Suicide Squad kill the Justice League despite having some bright spots. I don't even know what that means. Nevertheless, a complete disaster for Warner Bros. Entertainment. The live service disappointment has led to the company growing more focus on live service and free-to-play games for some reason. Though more notably, its existing properties and games such as Hogwarts Legacy, which the majority of Suicide Squad team has reportedly been shunted onto. Yeah, I don't. It's like these companies also feel like it's not profitable to make these single player games that are just a complete package. Which, I mean, just looking at Hogwarts and Elden Ring, I mean, look at the amount of hype that's coming out for Elden Ring. It's for the new DLC that's actually coming out here in a couple weeks, which I'm super excited for. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so good. Just look at a complete package of a game. And I'm actually interested to know how much it costs FromSoft to make. Because at the end of the day, I don't think it really mattered because they made so much money off of selling the game. And it's the same thing with Baldur's Gate. Like, there were so many people that bought the game because it was just a good game. I know a lot of people who bought like 2 copies of the game just to support Larian because it was just that good. It's like, if you focus on making a game that's for the consumer, it's literally the name of the game. Like, I make a bunch of videos about this, but at the end of the day, it's just how it is. It's how movies are too. It's why that Godzilla Minus One movie did so well. Is because it was just a movie focused on creating a real story that you could connect with, and then it had Godzilla in it. Which is a lot of these other movies, it's like, okay, they're cool for like mindless fun, but there's no depth to it. And it just goes to show the contrast in these different games, where you have games that are so focused on the gameplay that people are more than willing to give them money to buy extra copies to just play the game on multiple systems. And then you have games that are like these live service that these companies are trying to force people to play to make more money, and nobody wants to play them because the game is bad. I mean, if Suicide Squad was a good game, there would be more people playing it. It's just fundamentally a bad game. I mean, there's maybe a couple good moments, but a couple good moments won't keep people playing. That's just how it is. And it's, like I said, it just doesn't make any sense how these companies have been around for as long as they have, and they just do not, I just don't know. I literally don't have the words to express, like, what is happening. Says the staggering loss was, according to Bloomberg report, put into perspective during an earnings call in May, where Warner Bros. Revealed it was taking a $200 million loss on Suicide Squad. I remember learning about that, but I don't... Maybe I guess I didn't remember the dollar amount, but that's just crazy to me. $200 million loss. It's like... the Peepo burn money meme, just throwing all that cash in the fire. It's gone. Goodbye. That's just $200 million, man. What in the world? Just for context, the original 2016 Suicide Squad movie, the bad one, cost $175 million to make. That is before you factor in the various advertising costs. Despite being a critical failure by most metrics, the film still managed to take off at the box office to a tune of over $725 million worldwide. That's crazy. I didn't realize that it sold that well, despite it, because, I mean, let's be real, the Suicide Squad movie, it was okay, but it wasn't all that great. The first one, anyway. It says, I have sympathy for Rocksteady, but that comparison's got to sting. It says, Bloomberg's John Schreier also spoke to nearly 24 developers who chose to remain anonymous, but who still, regardless, told a story of confusing zigzags and U-turns that paint a messy picture of the game's development. And that pretty much just sums up what that game is. I mean, you could tell from the get-go. I mean, the story, the writing, it was bad. I mean, the words, the phrases they would use, it didn't seem like it fit. And then other people have touched on it before, but they were also just kind of mocking all of the characters that people have come to love in the DC universe, like Batman and Superman and stuff like that. It was just a mess, story-wise, gameplay-wise, loot-wise, because it was supposed to be a looter shooter as well, because science, I don't know. It just goes to show when you have these games that just have no clear direction, on top of just being horrible, gameplay wise. I mean, visually, it wasn't even that great either. It looks okay, but it is nothing to write home about. And it's the same thing with movies too. I mean, you got the new Acolyte that just came out, and the reviews for it are already not great. The story is just so bad. You have no idea what's happening, what people are talking. I don't know. Oh, welcome to 2024, I suppose. Welcome to 2024. We just can't seem to get media back to what it was. I just thank God there's still companies like From Software that are out there making stuff that's at least somewhat playable, because man, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. I'm looking forward to seeing where everything's going to be in the next 10 years, because if these companies keep doing this, they're just going to go bankrupt. I mean, it's really all there is to it. They're just going to go bankrupt, because obviously they have a lot of money, but they don't have that much money. Let's be real. I mean, you can't just keep losing $200 million hand over fist for every game you release. I mean, something's got to change. Something's got to give here. Either they start figuring out how to make games, or they go under. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments about just the state of games in movies as well, like TV shows, all of it together. It's just so clear how forceful they're trying to be with like certain messages and certain characteristics in games, where it's like the pushing the live service to the point where it's like, just stop, make a good game, and then if it's live service, people will play it. That's really all it is. But anyway, drove that point home long enough, huh? So if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like, and I hope to see you guys around. Peace.